What's up, Pick Central? Wednesday, July 19th. Barstool Sportsbook, brought to you by the Barstool Sportsbook. Go check that out. Obviously, it must be 21 plus. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Newly revamped. A little bit more organized, easier to read. I like a lot of the stuff on there. You got the hit parade, I think, which we're firing out pretty much every day. You got the Open. I shouldn't say the Open. You got the British Open tomorrow. Odds boost, different things on there. So go check out Barstool Sportsbook. Joined by Smitty in the top left corner. Marty in the lower left. Ev to my immediate left. And Clemmer to my right.
Why were you asking who was zooming yesterday?
I was going to incorporate a potential big-headed, bearded Southerner, potentially for a segment that he might like.
Probably declined.
Well, we got Smitty. I'm not in the business of kicking out Smitty.
Saying, I don't think he'll ever come back on the show.
Probably.
Right? I think he would have for that, actually.
Just because he wants to be right about
Well, he did give me a pick. He made sure he texted me a pick, and then I texted him. I'm like, hey, you want to call in? And the conversation ended quicker than
exactly.
that girl's number I got at fucking Panache one night.
Yeah. For the record, Ben Mintz's head isn't that big.
All right, so like we said,
Brandon does have a long-ass head.
Dude,
his
head is
big
so
head.
big. It's crazy how big. He's probably got an 8.5.
But even I'm saying not even wide. Like
what's
long.
your head?
Yeah, it's
Like I'm saying long.
like a
I've
cartoon
got
character.
wide.
7.5. His
like
might be
long.
an 8. Yeah.
I think I'm a
It's-
7 and like 5'8", 7 and
You
3/4.
kind of have you have a smaller head than people would think.
I got big heads.
Ed's got the
5'8",
cheeks.
3/4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a fat face.
I was fitting into 7.5 is the biggest I've ever gone.
Rico can't move, everybody.
No, it's bad.
The man is he's stuck in this position. He
I have to
is
go to the
in
hospital.
shambles.
To go back to the hospital.
Do you drive here? Like, how did you get here?
I took the bus. Well, yeah, I took the bus, and it's like everyone's playing a sick joke on me. There's one that drops you right downtown, and you have to take the train. There's one that dropped you on 26, and you walk the 6 blocks. I had the tracker on. I thought it was the one that takes me 6 blocks away from the office. So I'm like running down. I tell the guy, hold the bus. It's like you could power through it. Like if a dog was chasing you, you could power through it. And then I felt it on the bus. And I get on, and I go to the girl behind me. Like, when I start realizing we're going on a different path, I go, is this the downtown or the 3? She's like, no, it's the 34. I'm like, fuck. I got to get off. I get off in no man's land. I'm like, you know what? I just took a cab here. I go to get into the cab. The guy's like, you all right? Like, dead. Go to get out of the cab. The guy's like, you all right? I'm like, nope, dead. Like, holding traffic. It was fucking bad. Everyone thinks I'm like, what? You already, like, back problems is not something you'd be sympathy for. I already
You're
did this
milking it a
once.
little bit.
I'll give you the hospital reports. I went. Fucking hurts. It is what it is. Usually we do headlines first. You guys want to get right into Win Total Wednesday? Because I feel like we started a little later than last year, and everyone's kind of amped up about it.
We can.
I'm good with it.
I like it. Smitty, what do you? I'm writing a blog too with each of my picks, and I wrote like somebody always finagles the system here and does an NFL win total. So we've now expanded to NFL. But what do you have? Do you have a future current like baseball win total? Do you have the Sixers again? Like, are you going to play this straight, or are you going to be a contributing member of society? Or are you going to be a fucking whack job? Like, what do you?
Let's relax.
I love the Aces, WNBA.
No, we're going realistic here. We're actually going with my favorite NFL preseason win total pick, and that is the Bears over 7.5.
Yuck.
Okay.
Look,
Explain it.
it's a do or die year for the Bears, specifically Justin Fields. If they can't get 8 wins, he's done. They're in rebuilding mode, possibly again, depending on how it goes. They added DJ Moore. They bolstered through the draft. 8 wins isn't that much in a 17-win season. I think they're at least 500. I kind of have them making the playoffs. Bears over 7.5. It's minus 125 right now. I'm in love.
That defense is just so I'm not even worried about their offense. That defense is so bad.
Just a quick challenge. 17-game schedule. Can you explain to me how exactly they go 500?
Mixing a tie?
Maybe someone dies on the field. They
All right.
cancel the game again.
This fucking guy.
Oh, that's one way to go.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, listen, you're right. I think it's a make or break Fields for Fields. I know Ev's a big Fields guy. I'm all in after the thing with the kids. I mean, it turned even his biggest haters on him. Jerry was out on Fields, and he was like, it's pretty cool.
So
Team.
Fields
guy.
apologized to
Good
Jerry.
guy.
That's
Yeah,
why.
exactly. But, yeah, it is. It's a make or break year for the Bears. I also think a lot of these teams, in the North are now looking at that as an opportunity, right? So the Vikings were a paper tiger last year. The Lions are favored to win the division. When was the last time that ever fucking happened? Packers are dealing with somebody not named Rodgers as their quarterback. A lot of change in that division. A lot of opportunity. So what are the Bears to win the division? You think? Are you sprinkling that high?
They got to be still favored to come in last, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys say make or break year. They had the worst record in the NFL last year. Like, is that a fair thing to call? I would say make or break would be the year after this one.
Well, I was going to push back some on that. For the sake of the win total, it doesn't matter much. But I would say for Fields, like, I think it's a make or break year. He definitely has to like throw a little bit better.
He has to make a jump.
Yeah, I think it's similar to a year like Daniel Jones, like last year.
But I'm saying I think the team,
or he had a good year last year. He's got to have
I think there's a world where the defense stinks and he plays very good and the team isn't that good. I think there's even like the second half of the season, he played very well and the team still was horrible. They were just losing the games like 35 to like 40, or like they were like losing like 42 to like 30, yeah, shit like that. They were just putting up big numbers, but their defense, they also trade everybody. I think they should be a little bit better on defense because they kind of just trade everybody in the middle of the year, so they were in shambles. But I don't hate it. They definitely should make a jump. And I think they like really they're all in on Fields. I think the team believes in him now. They've seen like what he can do. When
big jump though. 3 to 8 is a big jump.
It is, but I think but last year they kind of like punted.
And they were in a lot of games last year.
They were.
And I say this because they played the Eagles specifically tough last year, and I saw a little bit of life in a team that should have had no life.
Justin Fields
you add DJ Moore. You had guys like TJ Edwards, who's an above average linebacker, come over from the Eagles on defense. They had a couple more guys on defense. Like, if Fields can make that jump from being a potentially good quarterback to an actually good quarterback, there should be no issue whatsoever.
No, it's a big year for him, definitely. He hated winning games in the last 2 minutes last year. Hated it. He had a lot of opportunities last 2 minutes.
And they started 2-1 last year, didn't they? Hey.
Yeah, they beat the Niners.
Yeah.
But also with him too, like they also look like he was in a spot where, like, look at his receiving core. Offensive line is terrible. Receiving core terrible.
And you add DJ
he was out there making
Moore,
plays on his own.
But like DJ Moore isn't to solve all problems.
No, he's not to solve all. But I think the offense, the best first round pick and a lineman. You pick up or DJ Moore is like a legit wide receiver.
Yeah,
legit
it helps. Definitely helps.
So I think I think having a real one helps when your one last year was non-existent. Like having a guy that you can kind of just like throw the ball to when you're in doubt helps a lot.
And you talk about jumping from 3 to 8 is a big jump. That's nothing in the NFL. There's so much parity.
That's a lot. That's a huge jump.
It's the worst team in the league.
I don't think so.
To 8 wins, like
I look at Jacksonville 2 years ago.
We've seen it happen a lot.
Look at the Cardinals 2 years ago.
Lawrence is a way better quarterback than Justin Fields. Like that's a. I'm just saying in any of the 4 leagues, the NFL by far has the most parity, and you can get an injury to a good team that puts you in the shitter. You can get a breakout star for a bad team that puts you in playoff contention. A lot easier than any of the 3 sports.
So, Smitty, the number is what?
7.5.
How would you grade their schedule? Because that's what I'm kind of running through. So, Green Bay, Tampa, Kansas City, Denver, Washington, Minnesota, Raiders.
That sounds great so far.
Yeah? I think Denver's going to be better. I think Washington's a little pesky. Tampa Bay's bad. Green Bay, you don't know what you're getting with. That's still divisional.
Tampa Bay's going to be that bad.
I don't think it's I don't see a lot of gimmies on here. I think you do at the end. You get it, Arizona, Atlanta, Cleveland, potentially.
See, to me, like the NFL, there's no real gimmies. And kind of going off what Smitty
said, there's a handful of gimmies.
But it's hard to say a gimme in the offseason because the reason I agree with Smitty's point is that in the NFL, there's so many teams. You see so many teams year to year go from really good, really bad to like good.
Yeah, and I'm not a big preseason schedule hound. Like you see that, yeah.
Yes.
The like you don't know about the Packers, like either way. You don't. I mean, shit. Yeah, the only lock this year for a team that you're gonna have to really play against them all 17 games is the Chiefs. Yeah. Everyone else, like Bills, take games off. Bengals got swamped last year, a couple of games. Even the Eagles played down the level.
Yeah, I just think for this exercise, you should have a couple of wins baked in. You know what I mean? So, and if you have them, you have them. If you're high on the Bears, it makes sense. But I think there's a lot of toss-ups.
I have 9 wins in the first 10 games.
Okay.
Well, so the Chiefs. Yeah, sure.
All right, fair enough.
No, I like it.
It's all good. Clemmer, you're new to this exercise. I don't think you're going college, so we'll keep you on NFL. Or, yeah, you're going NFL, correct?
I am going with the Jets. Yeah.
Over or under?
So the line, the bet that I had that I liked was 10 or more wins is minus 125.
And what's the under 9.5?
That was the bet that was 10. You can basically on our sportsbook you can do 10 wins or more for every team. So I chose the Jets at minus 120.
I like the under on that. Just as a heads up.
Here's what I like. They were 5-2 before Breece Hall got hurt. They had 7 wins last year as it was. Now we're adding Aaron Rodgers. I think those two things alone can tell me the Jets can get 3 more wins than they had last year.
Okay. I think that schedule's pretty difficult.
It's a hard schedule.
And I think when it comes down to it, even if God's taking a nap for a little while on a Sunday, he goes, "Oh, the Jets are playing? Let me fuck with that a little bit."
I know Jets fans don't like that, what you just said.
They just are due to have something go wrong.
I don't buy into that. I mean, everyone said about the Red Sox for 2004.
Think about really, really successful Jets seasons in even the last 20 years. They won the division in 2003. Right?
They went to the AFC Championship back-to-back years.
Yeah, okay. So, but 2003. So in that time frame before that, no, you're right. They got the 2 AFC Championship games. Mm-hmm. In the last phase of ground and pound kind of the league we may ever see.
Yep.
Got some breaks in those games as it is, and then since then, nothing.
Awful.
So you look at who bombs on their first round picks.
But they've gotten better at that though. I don't care what happened 12 years ago.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see what
I do think I don't
2003. What does that have to do with this?
Nothing.
Just no. It
I get what you're saying. That like the historic.
More often than not, you think good things are going to happen to the Jets, Lions, and Browns, or worse things.
But everybody said that about the Red Sox before 2004. Like, you know what I mean? Like things can change. Like
no, things can change, and obviously the Jets do Jets though. Like that is a thing. Hopefully this year this is where they're changing it.
They're already fucking up with Hard Knocks
with Aaron Rodgers and all this stuff, but. You got to get, because as of right now, the Jets do Jets. They've been things where
the one constant from 03 to out is the ownership. Woody Johnson's a bad owner. So if you want to point to that, I'll go with that. But I think this roster, though, is good enough to compete. It's like best roster. This is the most excited I've been a Jets fan in well over a decade, obviously.
Yeah, loaded, probably since those AFC Championship games.
Yeah.
Next round, but loaded in a loaded division.
I think that there's some teams that
tough
the
division.
Browns, right? The Browns have had some good rosters in the past couple of years, but their organization is so fucking bad. They'd never...
I don't trust I don't trust the Dolphins. Tua could be out any moment in time. He's a time bomb. And then the Patriots stink. Like they're like mediocre. Like they haven't made it past the first round in 5 years in the playoffs.
They're never gonna, with Belichick there still and Mac Jones is serviceable. They're never gonna be a rollover.
No, but
he hates the Jets.
He does hate the Jets.
He's always gonna give an F. They are never just gonna not show up.
Juju.
Yeah, Juju.
They're just never going to not show up. So those two games are difficult. Miami's still always difficult, especially if they go down there in the heat if it's early, depending on the schedule. And the Bills are
hard.
Bills are pissed from
last year.
So you think the Jets are going to stink this year?
No, I don't think they're going to stink, but I don't think they're elite. I'm not ready.
You don't think they're going to win 10 games?
Discussion yet?
It's a tough division. Very tough.
And it's a brutal schedule. Brutal schedule.
I think the Jets are going to win the division.
Schedule gets a lot easier.
Thank
for
you,
the
Ev.
Jets as too.
I'm super high on this Jets team. I think their defense is one of the best in the league. Let's just consider last year. They had statistically the worst quarterback in the history of the National Football League playing quarterback for them. That's not a joke. That's not like a reach. It is factual. The worst quarterback that's ever played in the NFL that started more than I think 20 games. And what did they go 8-9?
They went 7-10 last year. And remember too, they lost our running back half of the year.
Their defense is incredible. The jump from fucking Zach Wilson to Aaron Rodgers is such a leap, and they have some decent, like Garrett Wilson, very good receiver.
Yep.
Lazard comes over, he's obviously familiar face with Rodgers. They should have a good run game. The line's decent. They don't need much to be a good team. Like they were already close. They were on the fringe of being like a 500.
Started 5-2.
This defense is phenomenal.
Well, they're going to need to be really good because this is. Go ahead, Smitty, and then I'll give you the schedule.
Yeah. Well, you didn't even mention guys like Sauce. Like their defense.
He's the best quarterback in the league.
Yeah, I
their
agree
defense is elite.
I agree with Ev 100%. And people, he's a name. He hasn't won a fucking Super Bowl since 2010. Aaron Rodgers gave you minimum 5 wins. Like, he just does. He just does. He's still a top 7 quarterback in the NFL. He's going to get you there, but that defense is going to put you over the top. And I love the pick, Clem. I think they win 10 games.
Zach Wilson went 5-4 last year. Like,
he is
there is talent on that team.
Yeah, there is.
Like,
they're definitely talented. I agree with you. This is the schedule going into their bye week.
Okay, it's tough
Bills,
going in.
At Dallas, Patriots, Chiefs, at Denver, Philly.
I think you can go. What is
That's
that?
a fucking hard 6-game schedule, right?
Like I said,
3-3 there.
Coming out at the Giants. That's always a brutal travel for the Jets to go at the Giants. Fact. Chargers, Vegas, at Buffalo, Miami, and then you get Atlanta. That is taking you to December.
Sure,
Granted, now if Rodgers plays out of his mind, like, I get it. But
read the back end. The end of that schedule gets a lot easier at the end.
Yeah, Houston, at Miami, Washington, at Cleveland, at Patriots.
And mix that with Atlanta, you can get to 10 wins pretty easily.
Yeah, they got to get a I think
it's very top heavy. That schedule's
What do you think you have to go in the first 6?
Ideally, I'm looking 3-3.
Okay. That would be impressive.
Yes.
And even then, like a lot of those teams are concrete. Like the Chiefs are going to be good.
Yeah.
The Eagles, I'd be shocked if they weren't good.
Right. The Eagles are going to be
But I'll still go back to the point. I still think that you have to take the preseason NFL schedule with a grain of salt. Like there could be like you said, one injury, one this or that, and like that team could look totally different. But in this, it's fair because I do think some concrete, very good teams. Like that's a tough.
I mean, the Bills are a Super Bowl contender. Dallas is like
they're a good team. Tough early schedule, no doubt about it. Definitely a tough.
Definitely tough. So, Ev, why don't you give us yours?
Yeah, we're going college. This is probably my favorite one. I had a few I was going through, but this is a team that I'm really buying on. I think has a legit chance to. I'm gonna say like a really dark horse playoff team, but I think it's a real team to win their conference. I'll let Oregon State over 8.5 wins. They bring in all.
You stole that from me. That was on my board. It's not my favorite.
One of the best offensive lines. One of the best offensive lines in the country. They bring back the whole offensive line. Jonathan Smith, great coach. This is a team the good defense. They lost a few parts on defense, bring in some as well. They're very good. Their safeties are like elite. Their running game is phenomenal. They bring Nick Martinez, who was like the Pac-12 Freshman of the Year, to lead the. I mean, they're going to be able to run the shit out of the ball. Last year they were already a very good team. They won like 8. I think they won 9 games. They went 9-3, so they would have covered it last year. And the schedule was easier this year.
Didn't they have a heartbreaker loss to Oregon too? The way that game went.
No, they won. It was they should have beat USC.
That's what it was.
And they the game. This is where I think the difference maker is. Last year the quarterback play was so bad, and they still were good. In that USC game, I think they lost. It was a super low scoring game. They threw like 4 picks and still really should have won the game. They bring in DJ Uiagalelei this year, who I know people have like had their doubts, have their like shit talk about him. He was at Clemson for all the shit talking how bad he played last year. 22 touchdowns, 7 picks.
He's on Oregon State.
Yes, he's Oregon State's quarterback.
In the Pac-12, where they're turning up
a lot of good quarterbacks in the conference.
Not a lot of good defense.
A lot of good quarterbacks in the conference. If he can play just like solid, this team has a really good chance to be like in the mix for the Pac-12.
I want to agree with you.
I think they should easily. I think they can win 10, 11. 11 might be a stretch. I think they can legitimately win 10 games. 8.5, I think they should get to 9, like no problem.
I watched him for some reason a good amount last year. He really isn't bad.
He had a few like bad he's one of those guys where he had so much hype coming into the season that like after those games he played with the guy with Lawrence out that he looked so good against Notre Dame. He had a good game against Boston College. Well, I mean, people were excited about him. Obviously, he's this big kid. He's 6'4", 240. He's got a big arm. I think things just kind of didn't work. The offensive line wasn't as good. They had no weapons.
You also can't go on a private plane with your coach being like, that's where you're going to be throwing touchdowns because everyone's going to make fun of you.
Well, if you don't throw touchdowns, yeah.
They're going to be favored in a lot of games.
And their tough games, like they play like at home against Utah.
Oh, so that's a tactical error. I do think they're going to be undefeated. We like Washington State, but Washington State,
they should be Washington State.
Washington State is
they're a better team than Washington State.
The silver's off that plate there. San Jose State, UC Davis, San Diego State, who's always pesky, and then at Washington State. The Palouse is difficult.
Like they should
That's where you get tripped up. I think they made a tactical error scheduling this game on Friday night. You're telling me Oregon State, Utah couldn't have been Saturday game day?
It could have been
a little bit of a boost.
I don't.
Friday night against Utah. Now I think
I don't hate a Friday standalone.
I think they both might be undefeated at that point. I think Oregon State can come out as the spoiler, and like you said, looking at the playoff there,
if Oregon State beats Utah, that's why I love the schedule. They're playing Utah at home.
Yep.
Playing at Utah is a hard. That's a bastard of a place to go play a game.
Lose them up early.
If they start 5-0 beating Utah at home, I don't see how they don't get 9 wins. I don't see how they don't.
No, there's no chance. Yeah, you still got Arizona
and they're still they play
Colorado.
They play UCLA at home. Yeah. They don't have to play USC.
Oh, they go at Cal. It's not a lot of
very winnable games. Like the non-conference is pretty easy.
It's
I think this team could be really, really good. Like I said, I think for me too is that high ceiling and high floor. When you have a good offensive line, good running attack as they do, and a solid defense, it's almost impossible for them to be bad.
And a jolt of a quarterback because he was a star.
He's gonna be whatever he is, even if he's what he was last year, way better than what they had. Way better. I think he's legit. I think the team is very legit.
Yeah, it's on my board. I'm going to play them and win the Pac-12.
I am too. I think they're a real dark horse.
I think they're a real dark horse. Great schedule. I like what they're at. They can join the basketball team. Give you a little,
They've been good to me the last couple of years. Jonathan Smith is a great coach.
He is.
Great coach.
He is. He's really good. Marty, which way are you going?
I am. Ebo, I think you should agree with me here. I don't know if you're still on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
But over 6.5 wins, South Carolina. Spencer Rattler gonna be fucking slinging it.
I don't know, man. They play no defense.
So
what was the game they were?
They have a defensive.
They were expected to kind of flirt with Georgia, and it were down 35-0 in the first quarter.
Yeah,
am I thinking of that game?
Georgia game was bad.
I'm pretty sure they have a defensive end that's on his 7th year who's real good. So they play UNC first game at home. That's a winnable game. That's a toss-up game.
Tough. But
at home, that helps. I don't know if it's at home, but I know
that's the neutral site game at Bank of America.
Basically, so it's basically same.
Yeah, where the
Furman, that's a win. Georgia lost. At home against Mississippi State could be a win. Lost at Tennessee. Win versus Florida.
They beat Tennessee last year.
Yeah, but at Tennessee.
For the sake of I think they.
That was the game he got hurt, though, right?
But they were beating the shit out of him anyway.
Okay.
They were up big by the time he got hurt.
You're going to give them Florida as a guaranteed win?
I think at home against Florida, I don't
think Florida's very good.
At Missouri.
Tough game.
For the record, Brandon has Missouri over 6.5.
I love Mizzou. Mizzou's another one I like a lot.
How's Texas A&M going to be this year?
Dark horse for the playoff.
Okay, so loss.
We'll see.
I don't know. That,
I mean,
I'm just saying what's been written. Texas A&M is flirting with the
on the roster, but I mean,
it's a tough game. Yeah, to be a tough game.
Well, every year, they always have talent on the roster, and then they just end up sucking. That's usually what.
I don't think they're gonna suck. But I don't know. Their quarterback play is kind of iffy.
Jayville State
win.
Jacksonville,
yeah, Jacksonville State.
It literally says Jayville. That's why.
I think that's one of the new FBS teams this year. They're jumping up from the Ohio Valley Conference.
At home versus Vanderbilt.
Should be a win.
Should be. At home versus Kentucky.
Tough game.
Loss up.
And then it's at home against Clemson. So it's like
probably a loss.
It's close, but I think it's like plus 110, I think, or something like that.
Plus sign I don't hate.
Or I guess I should. Oregon State's with plus 110.
So it's plus over. I'm just a Spencer Rattler nut. I fucking love that guy.
Yeah, you watch the ball come out of his hand one time, and you're like, I'm back in.
Yes,
that was a pretty ball.
Yes,
he does throw a pretty ball.
I think that North Carolina game, South Carolina game, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's game day.
I love South Carolina in that game. It might be my biggest.
They're plus 2.5.
I do too. I like them better than North Carolina,
especially getting them at plus money on a neutral site.
What's his Luke May?
Drake May.
Oh, Luke May was the brother. Fucking idiot.
You can't. They're just so bad on defense. UNC, I'm saying.
Oh, they're terrible.
So bad.
Horrible.
So bad on
Duke game. I bet them heavy last year against Duke, and they didn't play defense. They drove me nuts.
I was thinking of him. I was
so bad.
I was trying to convince Marty to go with Duke.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it for the show, but Duke, he was.
I love Riley
Duke
Leonard.
Be good.
Riley Leonard's a fucking dog.
He's first year or second year?
He started last year. He was great last year.
I'm gonna go as I usually do down. Oh, Ebo, you got one?
Yeah, I got a G5 team.
Let's go.
I think that, and every year I'm kind of high on them, but Toledo, I think they have the inside track for the G5 spot.
Okay.
In New Year's Six,
Jaquan Finn.
I think if they beat Illinois, we could be looking at an undefeated Toledo team.
Okay.
Interesting.
That's 8.5, minus 135 for the over.
Yeah, I liked a few that were really high. I'm gonna go.
Finn's a stud.
I'm going to the Sun Belt. South Alabama over 7.5. It's minus 150. It's a team who returns 18 starters. Phil Steele has them ranked 27th in his preview. 10-3 last year. They lost to UCLA by a point. Carter Bradley, 28 touchdowns, 12 picks. The run game has a kid who broke the single-season record for South Alabama last year. They also add in an Ole Miss transfer, and they do have a kid, Reynolds, who's a solid backup. Offensive line, 4 starters back, top 2 wide receivers. The defense, Phil Steele has them as the 8th rush unit in the country, 9th total defense. They were 25th last year. They were 3rd against the rush last year, holding teams to under 100. We always break it down with the schedule. I think there's 7 games they're going to be double-digit favorites. Southeast Louisiana, Central Michigan, at ULM, Southern Miss, ULL, Ark State. What do you also notice about those 6 games? 5 of them are at home. Yeah. They're at Texas State. They're going to be double-digit favorites in all those. So 5 of those games, I get at home. That gets me 7. I got 2 losses baked in for this exercise, which are Tulane and Oklahoma State. They're getting 7, I think, against Tulane. Don't be surprised if they beat Tulane. I know Tulane was a really good story last year. That's a toss-up to me opening week. And the swing games are at JMU, at Troy, and Marshall, where they should be favored. I think this is – I just got to go get one. I got to get one of my 3 swing games. I think there's another team who can contend in terms of, like, the best group of 5 team out there. Give me South Alabama over the 7.5.
Okay, they were really good. They were good last year.
Yeah. Reliable run game, reliable quarterback, good wide receivers, great defense. Give me South Alabama over the 7.5.
I like it.
There are 4 teams in the Sun Belt that are really good this year.
Yeah.
South Alabama, Troy, Marshall, JMU will all be at range of.
Yeah, I knew you were all
breaching
over
into
that
the top
JMU.
25.
I know. If JMU spoils this one for me, you'll never hear the end of it.
I mean, we have a really good defense. A lot of question marks on offense.
Yeah.
Kind of complete overhaul, but
Marshall
is going to have a legit top 25 defense this year.
Who's the kid?
It's how they beat Notre Dame.
Yo, who's the kid I hate who went to Virginia Tech?
Grant Wells.
Grant Wells. I was getting a lot. I can't mention his name anymore. I was getting
stunk.
This kid blew my game of the year a couple years ago, and he was horrible. He was electric to that point. He was horrible. And then any chance I got, I motherfucked him. There are a lot of Grant Wells defenders out there. Kids were like, fuck you. You don't know. I'm like,
well, when at the time you did it, they had such an amazing season.
Right.
And then they shit the bed that one game.
So maybe they think I was the problem.
So the Marshall fans were behind him. He had a great year.
He's still in school?
No, then he transferred to Virginia Tech last year. He stunk. Okay. Lost his job. Was a starter game 1, lost the job. I would assume he's.
Must have made you happy, Rico.
I would assume
he did. Yeah, I was all in on.
I think he's done with college now. I think.
Yeah, he's probably selling cars like he was destined to do anyway. Because he wasn't gonna make it in the NFL.
This poor kid.
The brand is what it is. He cost me some money. Braves are a publicly traded company. Travi and was trying to get Ebo to buy stock today.
What's going on?
The Braves are being publicly traded. Ebo has that on the headlines.
You can go and buy stock.
You could buy stock of one team. Who would you like?
Buy stock?
Yeah, like
they're publicly like the Packers.
The Packers, yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
Ted Turner doesn't own them anymore?
No, he gave that up with the TBS deal.
I think that shit's the stupidest shit in the world.
Like stock is?
But did they? But they have an owner still, correct?
Yeah, I don't fully understand it, but
because the Packers don't have like an owner. They legitimately don't have an owner.
They have all owners.
Everybody like the NFL essentially.
Yeah. Crazy.
I hate that. I hate the Packers owner stuff.
Why?
I think it's so stupid because you talk to any Packers fan. I'm an owner. It's like, no, you're not. You have no part. You're an asshole.
They don't actually think they're.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Do you think they actually think they're like the same as George Steinbrenner?
They take that shit so seriously of them being an owner. It's ridiculous. I know they obviously don't think they have like power, but like they kind of.
You wouldn't want to own a little piece of the Yankees?
No, I don't.
That's where sometimes I go back around. Because if it was if we were the team where it was like we're owned, we'd have that motherfucker framed.
I don't want to. How much is it?
Hey, the Braves might be the safest stock of all time. Just look over the last 30 years.
They're like Apple, brother.
Especially with like the
blue chip.
They grow 20-win starters on trees.
You have 8 years of stability right there. For all the people that the guys they signed for 8 years.
Marty, 8 years. Look back to 1991.
No, I know.
They've been good for 30 fucking years.
I know, but I'm just saying right now.
They have all their guys locked up
for 8 years. So you're like, all right, I got a definite 8 years.
Yes, you're good. You're good until the end of the decade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Reds might stink.
No, they do stink.
They don't stink.
They do. Clemmer was right, and I agree with them. They
4 games.
They got
It's
Yeah, but it's-
6 though. They've lost 6 in a row now.
They lost 6 in a row. Doubleheader yesterday when they had the lead.
they got hot at a time.
They've lost a bunch to the Brewers, which you're going to need in that division. I'm starting to panic a little bit. But Strand, like I said, hits a bomb last night.
I saw it. So he did hit that. He's a very good hitter. He's going to have a very good career. I'm not saying that, but I just don't know where they can play him as far as Steer, Votto. I just don't know where he fits in that lineup. I think he should get more playing time because he's going to be awesome.
I think they DH'd him last night.
He was a pinch
No, he
hitter
didn't
last
start
night.
Last night he pinch hit.
Was he the pinch
Started
hitter?
the first game. I'm sorry, he started the night before.
That's right. That's right.
And
That
ended
was-
up going.
that's right.
But I don't know. If you got a guy who can hit, power's not a bad thing. I think then you protect him. Like that lineup's already really good, obviously.
No.
You just add another guy that they can't pitch to, or you put a guy in a 6-hole who can start an inning off for you down.
If you trade him for a pitcher.
You would trade Strand for a
I
pitcher?
don't know. I'm just throwing shit out there. I'm just trying to
I think it'd
like.
be
that's a
damn-
hell of a
damn good
haul.
pitcher, yeah. With like some years on his contract.
Yeah.
probably,
What
too.
if you did it for like Dylan Cease? It would be Strand and somebody else, obviously.
Would you do
Something like that.
Scherzer? Would you do Scherzer for Strand straight up?
No.
That's
They would.
enough to put them in the mix to win the World Series.
You'd have to eat the whole salary.
I think the Reds would be getting
Mets
smoked
would have to
on
eat
that.
everything. Mets would have to eat everything. Excuse me.
I'm
As
just
a
looking
Mets
at,
fan,
like-
I would love to see that happen.
I think the Reds would be getting smoked in that deal.
No, you got a guy who's an anchor of your ace.
Yeah, but
Put you in a position
you-
right
you-
now
I think
to win
you
a
just
World
lost
Series.
you just lost like a massively talented prospect
For a year and a half.
for like a year and a half of like a guy who's 40 years old
Yeah,
making a
broken
shit ton
down.
of money.
I think
Yeah.
you'd want to get someone
That's where it
different.
gets difficult. I guess I'm just looking at what they could do. Or
So I mentioned like
I don't
Dylan
think-
Cease.
That's not a move for this year for the Reds. Now, 2-3 years from now, if they're like on the cusp. Of
Yeah,
making-
they're
World
division
Series, yes.
contenders. They're not like World Series contenders.
The other thing with Strand is Votto insurance because they have a team option on Votto. I think it's a $20 million deal. They can basically buy him out for $7 million. So if say Votto gets hurt next week and he can't play next year, whatever, you can just plug Strand in for next year.
Yeah.
Reds
Hey.
are ahead of schedule. That's just what
Yeah,
it is.
of
Oh,
course,
yeah.
of
Not
course.
like that is not. They are not that good right now. They have a lot of young players. They got exciting for a second. Everyone got
They
excited.
can hit. They have a great lineup.
They are not going to
Yeah.
win the division.
And Joey Votto, yes, he's old. He's not what he used to be. Still has that nice little swing going.
He's
Had
done
a
well
good
this year.
Taco last
Yeah, he
night.
seems a little
Yeah.
rejuvenated too.
Last year, excuse me, he was terrible. But this year he does look better. Maybe he's healthy again. I don't know.
I mean, guys,
One of my favorite stats of all time, and I'm going to get this wrong. Clemmer, you want to correct me? Is Joey Votto had like 10,000 plate appearances and didn't pop out to the first baseman or catcher once.
Oh, that's crazy. That's funny.
Something
I think it
like
was an infield pop out. Like it was something crazy.
something too absurd.
Votto was the second Red ever to have 350 home runs. That shocked me.
I thought of something.
Who's first? Johnny Bench?
Yeah, 389. No Red has ever hit 400 homers.
How many did
Yeah,
Rose
that's
hit?
crazy.
Rose didn't hit that many, but Rose also played other teams. Expos, Phillies.
Yeah, okay.
It's a contact hitter.
I know, but yeah. Okay.
Do you think? I thought about this yesterday for some reason. Do you think some GMs hire managers so they're the people that are getting blamed more than the GM?
No.
I think so.
I think they'll hire managers that don't push back a lot. Like, I'm going to give you the lineup. You're going to do what I say.
That's what I'm
They are
saying.
puppets.
Where it's like they're
Yes.
puppets, but like also they're not that well liked. So like more people are blaming the manager than looking at the GM.
I don't think that's the guy.
No,
I think
I think people are always going to naturally do that because the
That's
GM's
also
not the GM's not just not visible.
Yeah.
is this an Aaron Boone thing?
Huh?
Is
No.
this about Aaron Boone with you? Oh, by the way, the Yankees, you guys both said the Yankees are going to be fine because they're called the Yankees.
It'll be fine.
Okay.
There's 70 games left, Clemmer. We're 3 games out of the wild card.
So you think the Yankees are going to make the playoffs this year and everything? You'll be just fine
Well, I'm not saying we're going to win the World Series, but we'll make the playoffs, yes.
because they're called the Yankees.
No,
That was
because
your main reason?
because we're the Yankees and do make trades.
Not because we're called the Yankees. Fuck
And
you.
Yeah, we're the
Okay.
Yankees.
Clemmer, for as much as I want to bash on the Yankees, they get judged back. I mean,
Yeah,
they've been
like-
doing a
You
pretty
get judged
good
back,
job
they're a
without
different
him.
team. For
They
sure.
are
Yeah.
getting them back soon, though.
They should be, yeah.
So, like,
I'm sure he won't get hurt again either.
No, I don't think.
No, he's never gets hurt.
Clemmer's going like full Jerry, like rooting for ACLs.
Yeah, like
you fucking.
I mean,
the Mets fans can dish it so much, but
they can't take it to save their
can't take it at all.
They take it all the time. What are you talking about?
Clemmer will be like this. Oh, because we know we're bad. I already said we're bad. Well, because you guys fucking suck. You have the highest payroll too. You fucking losers.
I admit we're bad. You can't admit the Yankees are bad. That's the difference.
We're bad right now. We're going to make the playoffs.
How much they stink.
Somehow the only thing I'm realistic about is the Mets.
Yeah, because they're
everything else I'm fucking,
Hey, give Rico all the credit in the world. Last year when the Mets were Marilyn Manson sucking their own dick and every fan base, along with you, Clember, was a part of it, Rico was the only one at Barstool being like,
Frank,
we've seen this before. Pump the brake. Yeah, but
Frank actually. Frank was actually when you guys were getting like Lindor and you guys, Uncle Stevie was coming out. Frank called us little brother.
Yeah,
and that's just not true.
Rico was the only one who was like actually realistic.
And then I said it this year. I'm like, Correa was the big move. Now he stinks, but Correa was the big move because that lineup was horrific. The way it was set up. You had a lot of guys who overachieved. You had a lot of slap hitters, not a lot of power.
We're going to get better this year also. The Mets are not going to do anything.
Better like this season, you mean?
Yes.
Like the next couple weeks.
Like when we get
I think we
new
should,
pieces.
I think we should sell, but
you don't think we're going to get new pieces?
I think you might, but I don't know what that piece is going to be.
I mean,
Dylan Carlson and
Bellinger is a great piece.
That would be a very good piece for you guys.
So Clemmer, the Mets over under. You won 101 games last year.
101 games.
And the over under this year, I believe, was 91.5. Do you know what the current over under is for the Mets?
I would guess the current one is 79.5.
I'd say 74.
Yeah, it's 80.
That's so embarrassing.
It's 80.5.
It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing.
How is that not embarrassing?
It sucks.
It's embarrassing.
It's not good.
When you have the highest payroll, and you won 101 games last year.
It's a horrible fall. It is. It's not good.
1 games is embarrassing.
Yeah, I will own that. You cannot come to grips or get your little mind wrapped around.
I'm telling you right now, the Yankees are not very. How are they very bad? They're not good this second.
They stink right now.
Not good right this second.
Right now. They can't hit worth shit.
Yes, they're not good right this second, but they're 3 games out of the wild card. With 70 games left.
Yeah. How's today going to go, you think?
They beat the shit out of Ohtani. If you look at your little stat boy sheets, they beat the shit out of Ohtani.
Okay.
Go look at it, stat boy. Go look at it.
When they beat?
Go look at the stats against Ohtani, stat boy, and go look.
Okay.
Got the stat boy. Got you.
No, you don't. I mean, you all let me talk. Okay.
First of all,
hang on 1 second. No, shut the fuck up. Give me 1 second. No, let me
he's American treasure.
Let me defend this for a second. When you guys beat the shit out of Ohtani, was Aaron Judge in that lineup?
The rest of the lineup also beat him up.
It was DJ LeMahieu before he turned old and ancient and worthless.
So stats don't
back when
mean anything
Stanton wasn't completely useless.
Don't mean anything then.
Yeah. You got to look at stats that are more relevant, Marty.
Last year.
Everything is a stat. The smart people can determine which stats are the right ones.
Last year stats don't matter?
I don't know. Aaron Judge doesn't matter because he's not going to play today, so I would say it depends.
You go back and forth on your stats shit.
Anthony Rizzo hasn't home run since Memorial Day, so I would probably throw some of his stats from last year out too.
So no, stats mean nothing.
Yeah, well, they do when you look at them right.
Go look at them right then.
There's a very famous quote and that they teach you in statistics class. All models are wrong, but some are useful.
All models are wrong.
That was too
but some are useful.
That was too deep for me.
There's
I actually took a stats class.
Me too. I didn't fucking listen to shit.
Can you imagine? What grade did you get in that class?
B+.
No.
Can't remember.
It's not that fucking
grade
hard.
on a curve?
No, it's not that hard.
Jesus.
I think mine might have been great on a curve.
And
you can cheat. All I know is I passed.
You should take like 101 level college tests and see how we do.
Absolutely not.
In history.
I
had to do the math test. He wouldn't do it.
We're doing college. We did 2nd grade. I barely did it.
Yeah.
So 2nd grade's math is a lot harder than you think.
Yeah. Now that we got all the arguments out of the way.
I think I might struggle with long division right now.
Exactly, you would. 100%.
I think
you would struggle with long division too, Bosco.
I wouldn't. Long division.
No.
Realistically,
Rico Bosco whipped out a 38 times 9 the other day.
I use a pen and paper.
Realistically, I won it. Yeah, pen and paper, I won it. But
pull up a long division problem right now, please.
Long division. Hold on. I have to think about it for a second. I'm like, is it this carry over this?
Please pull one up.
Doing the little thing in notes where you write like the number. You're counting me. You write the number at the top.
Yeah, I love doing that. Carry the number.
Good at math.
I'm good at like quick math.
You really are a piece of shit, Mark.
Long division's not quick.
Why?
Because, yesterday you came in, you were all glory.
Fire it up, Booze.
You lose your pick last night, and you don't say a fucking word.
I'm winning. I'm winning still right now.
So it's funny how yesterday you were all hot shit.
I was winning yesterday. I'm winning today.
What is it? Yeah, I can't see it.
All right, 13 divided by
474. Or what is it? Yeah, 474.
No, say it the other way around. 474. Give me the full number. I can't see it.
Yeah, he's right. Divided by 13. He's right.
8,474 divided by 13.
8474.
I thought it was a money sign. Couldn't see on 8.
Don't pretend to do it, Big Ev.
Well, I couldn't do it on my head.
Clemmer's doing it in his head.
I need paper.
Don't say it out loud, Clemmer.
I can do it with paper. Or I'll do it in my head and give you like a ballpark answer.
I wish this was still on radio and someone was listening to this right now, just being like,
we do have audio. There are
651.
Shout out our
yeah, I got that. Shut up. 650.
shout out our podcast listeners. We love you.
Oh, that's gonna be that.
11/13.
4, 8.
Rico Bosco's tearing this math.
taking it a little long.
8. Hold on.
It's long division.
You're that good at math, you should be able to do it a little faster.
651.8. Right? Yeah.
11/13.
Boy, Bosco.
We should do.
Even shows his work.
Well, it took
Easy.
a little bit.
We can sit down after the show and do some times tables. You ever do times tables back in the day?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where you have a minute and you got to do them all?
Yeah.
We should do some of those.
That shit's hard.
Timetables is a layup.
Timetable's easy.
All
All
right.
right.
Math. That's like memorization. It's not even math.
You think layup for you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I bet it. 7 times 7.
Layup.
49.
There you go.
Can't do
Crazy.
touchdowns. You should all know.
yeah.
Touchdowns.
Yeah, no, they
8 times 5.
40.
40.
There you go. You guys are pretty smart. Marty's staying quiet over there, but you guys are
You guys are
doing a good job.
faster than me. I could have got it.
12 times 12.
144.
I think I was first.
That's
1
great.
times 0.
It's great radio. All right, let's get into
We're
something.
just doing.
We got all
how
the
much we can multiply.
we got all the fights out of the way. Let's go to a segment that definitely is not going to bring up any kind of fight. Smart versus hot. Can we pull up those standings real quick?
Rico's killing it right now.
I think I'm technically in last.
2 games and in a 13-day race.
First.
So, but hey, you're ahead.
Who's in first? Like
Rico's in first.
I mean, who's in second, third? Who's in last?
I'm in last technically. I'm minus 0.25. You're minus 0.2. What's Clever minus 0.15?
By the way, I do want to say that is my pick for this game. That is not my pick of the day that I will be putting out later.
Yeah, so the one I love is Eduardo Rodriguez.
Whoa.
What the fuck are you doing?
You just get all day to have your pick?
Yeah, no, that's
So that's my pick for this contest.
No.
But not my prop that I'm going to put out later today for my.
Oh, no.
Oh.
If it's pick with the contest, that's fine. That's fine.
Because there's games that don't
That's
have
fine.
props out yet.
That's
so.
fine.
That's risky. Verlander to get a win.
That's fine. That's fine.
Think so? Why?
Mets.
White Sox, Toussaint.
I just think the Mets stink right now.
I
I know we're hitting the ball, but just shit. Any night they could just not show up.
I like Verlander there.
And you're putting yourselves in a. He could have a good outing, and you could get a DeGrom again.
You could. Oh, absolutely.
You know, like I don't trust Met guys to get a win, and it's only even money, which might tell you something. Maybe Vegas knows more than I do. But Eduardo Rodriguez over 5.5 strikeouts, minus the 140. Everybody thinks I'm laying the juice.
Well, it's not everyone.
Listen, I was gonna go over 6.5 at plus money, but I think this one's a safer. He faced Kansas City around Memorial Day, had 9 strikeouts. His Kansas City lineup's horrible. If you go back of his last 6 or 7 starts, 7, 7, 6, 9, 5, 8, 9, 5, 6, 10 in terms of strikeouts since April 18th. Guy's a strikeout pitcher. Give me the 5.5. He's going to give me 5-6 innings. I'm going to go with that. Ev, you're chasing another kind of even. You were with the Blue Jay or the
I'm fading the Blue Jays
Orioles
today.
yesterday. You were with the Orioles yesterday. Which way are you going here?
Yeah, I'm on the Padres today. I know it's kind of like numbers wise, like you like on the pitching edge, you lean Barrios. Barrios is one of those weird. I kind of like the fade. I just think this is a good. The Padres are playing like a little bit better. They've been hitting at least a little bit better. They've been scoring some runs at least. I just like the Padres in the spot. Hit them around last night. Darvish on the mound. Like I said, it's one of those weird where I think the numbers would say like Barrios is better on paper, but I like you Darvish just like in general over favor him as a pitcher. So give me the Padres.
Clemmer, we touched on yours. So you're going for Atlanta to get the win? Just Chicago's that bad?
I think so, yeah. And I also think the Mets used a lot of bullpen guys yesterday, so I think they'd be more likely to leave him in. He's pitched pretty well of late. He does really well at home. That's another reason I'm taking this Verlander. He's been very good at Citi Field this year.
Would you put Verlander on the block?
The problem is he's signed for 2 more years.
Scherzer is more of a desirable contract.
Scherzer's only signed for 1 more year.
Gotcha.
I'm going Toussaint over 4.5 hits. I think that the Mets are gonna touch him up. Only thing I'm nervous about is if he stays in long enough. But yeah, I'm going over 4.5. -140 is a juice bagger. It's fine.
What do you think? What do you mean if he stays in long enough?
Like, I don't think he doesn't have many innings pitched this year. Like,
no, he's not a traditional.
He's only started 3 games this year. So like I'm saying, like even if he's doing well, they might like take him out a little.
Even his
early.
last appearance was out of the pen. Kopech got knocked out in the first inning.
Yeah.
They put Toussaint. Toussaint pitched for a while, but you just never know with these swing guys how long they're going to be in.
Yeah, he's only 3 games started. You don't know with them, but I think the Mets are going to just touch him. They scored 11 runs yesterday. I actually hit a bet yesterday. It was Carrasco and Kopech to give up 4.5 hits each, +140, and they would hit. So I like.
There were some softball fucking scores.
Velasco and Giolito yesterday.
Sorry. Yeah.
There were some softball scores going up. Yeah.
Braves, Diamondbacks.
Arizona Diamondbacks, Atlanta Braves was nuts. The Reds game got nuts in terms of high scoring. Mets game got nuts.
Tons of teams scored double
hits.
figures.
Yeah.
Wild.
So
there's nothing worse than that. And you watch your team and they have 2 hits.
yeah, it's pretty bad.
That wasn't fun.
Smitty, what do you like today? You pull your picks up, I guess.
Get them up. 1 second. Yeah, there we go. Day action: Guardians, Pirates, no one first innings. Rays, Rangers under. Waldy Chuck for the Oakland A's. Fade, big time.
They fucking won last night against the Red
Yeah, that's
Sox.
why you fade them. That's why you fade them
Okay.
against the Red Sox.
Fucking Montgomery, 5 strikeouts yesterday.
Yeah, run through. Is that your Marty? Pull up your full card. Run through that now. That's the way to
Full
work.
card is Yankees. I got the Pirates. I got the Orioles. I got the Marlins, Padres, and I got the Yankees first pitch of the game single +3,000. I'm also gonna add first pitch strike -120 for the Yankees. It's a fun bet. It's a fun bet.
So you need anything but a bowl?
Anything but a ball and a double and a home run.
I'm on the Rays Rangers over. Actually, I like that spot. The Nats Cubs over. I love. That's here been just like runs galore, but just not great pitching. Good. The Nats sneaky have been hitting as bad as they are. They've got some good bats.
Yeah, they're spunky.
They are. They're very spunky. They score a lot. Also, bullpen's not great either. Their bullpen got ran a train on them last night. But
sorry, one good bet featured on the new Barstool Sports book that I don't think people are talking about. The Pirates Guardians no run first inning cashed. Also, what cashed is you can do no runners at all. Nobody reaches base in the first inning for like +700 to +1,000.
Whoa!
And that just hit 6 up, 6 down. So if you like no runs first inning for a team or an under, like maybe sprinkle that 6 up, 6 down because it's pretty nice.
I don't hate that. I'm gonna go with the we got the hit parade coming out. I obviously got Rodriguez is over 5 strikeouts. I'll take the Rays and I'll take the Tigers, which is crazy. The Tigers are laying so much juice, but Kansas City is that bad, so I'll go with that. Clemmer, what do you got?
Yeah, look at that record that I have. Impressive. I have the Marlins money line. Alcantara's pitching a lot better his last 2 starts.
You can't suck your own dick over 13.
I can do whatever I want.
No.
I have Jose Barrios and Luis Castillo both getting over on the outs. I like both of them at home this year. They both have really strong appearances. They're standing kind of the same mentality with Verlander as well. That's and then obviously the Jets pick I talked about earlier.
I have 2 things I want to
Go ahead, yeah.
One, I love parents on social media. Jordan Poole's dad likes calling Draymond a bitch. It's just I just imagine Jordan Poole calling his dad up, being like, "Dad, get the fuck off Twitter." And second, did you see that Craig Carton said that Daniel Jones is arguably the best rushing quarterback in the NFL?
Well,
this year?
In theory, he's correct. You could make an argument.
It's arguable.
I don't think it'd be a very.
I don't
good
think it's
argument at all.
true.
I think it'd be a very poor argument.
I'd say me and Big Ed were saying
I think he's top 5.
Without a
I
doubt.
think he's number 5.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think there's a clear threat.
Very formidable
there's a clear,
runner.
like 2 and then 3. There's a clear like Fields, Lamar, Hurts.
He's
Probably,
a very
probably
formidable runner.
give Josh Allen maybe the nod, After that, I think Jones is the guy. Probably
Jones is.
Dude, he doesn't fumble, and he goes for like 6 for 60 every game.
Last year, he ran for like 700 yards.
I'd say he's better rusher than Josh Allen.
They use him. They use Jones more to
like
run.
Josh Allen could be if he wanted to be.
They don't. Yeah, he doesn't need to be.
Exactly.
He's such a good passer.
Daniel Jones just run. More plays.
They run designed runs for Daniel Jones, and it works pretty well. And he scrambles well.
You're not going to put him top 5, and I don't think he's the best. But do you wish he? Because he eludes things so many more. No, I'm saying Mahomes. The way he can elude things and stuff like that, but then he gets out of the pocket and throws it. Scrambles.
Jones is a better
Mahomes
runner of the football.
A little bit more.
Jones is a better runner of the football.
Without a doubt.
Mahomes is a better scrambler.
That's what I'm saying. He's a scrambler, and then at that point, I'd like to see him tuck it and run it a little bit more, just because the plays he makes. He did last year.
I meant to text you. You missed a Patty checkdowns joke. His field on his house is only 30 yards.
That's honestly, Craig, I should have thought about that.
Yeah, that was what I thought. He can't make that at least 50 there. I mean,
I tweeted one. It's so funny whenever I even tweet. I've said so many times he's the best quarterback I've ever seen, and people still, I'll just make the joke and people freak out.
I
tweeted it. I tweeted because there was a thing. And obviously a lot of it's based on not having Tyreek Hill, and just trying to make ways to defend them, stop these deep passes. But his yards per attempt or whatever was per touchdown was so much lower.
But did you watch
crazy lower
in quarterback when he explained when that one sequence where they're like, I watched film, all the safeties are playing deeper and all that, and then all of a sudden they moved up and he just cooked them. It was kind of funny to see why he was checking it down.
I even said that I remember being here sitting in this a year or 2 years ago saying they're playing 2 safeties back, and not letting them do that. They're not going to let Tyreek Hill just burn you down the field. But obviously he's adjusted incredibly well.
Wait till fucking Richie James is 60 yards deep. Fucking.
You have in a primetime game. You have to be playing Richie James to score a touchdown. Just run great plays. Richie James will be in our parlay plus of trying to figure out.
He's gonna catch one of those McCall Hardman, Tony, one of those
without a doubt,
walk in
6 yards,
100%
yards out.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Where Tony did a lot of them last year.
And you could play him. He's going to be down to 8 to 10. So if they have 5 scoring drives, play him once. As long as you get one, I think you're going to turn out in the green.
And as long as he's nice to Mahomes, they have so much fun scoring. They'll be let's get Richie one this.
Oh, he should be his best.
Let's get Richie in the end zone.
Be holding his bags.
Kelsey scored 5.
He should be.
Tony scored already. This guy scored.
He said,
let's get Richie in there.
Getting Brittany Flowers, be nice to everybody.
Get him Brittany Flowers. He's got a couple kids. Maybe get him some gifts.
Yeah,
get you a couple balls thrown to you.
Give Patrick the quarters to call his brother in prison potentially. Just do everything.
That's the one thing they kept him out of the quarterback show.
They had to. But he said
it's so funny because I only got in
him a few times. But
I only got in on that guy because he's so ridiculous and it pisses everybody off. I was I'm just gonna be a Jackson Mahomes stan, and now that's
and he sexually assaulted someone.
Yeah, it's not fun. No. It's not fun.
And sexually assaulted, I believe. He sort of assaulted someone.
Already had one.
What are you saying, Marty?
I was saying for the 7th time before Rico kept talking, and Smitty said at the beginning of the show, they're the only team right now. It's just they're just gonna win the Super Bowl, and no one could argue that. It's just it's crazy to say because usually you have no idea what's gonna happen. I don't care. Besides 2 people on that team that don't get hurt, because their defense is way better than people ever give them credit for. I feel like if Kelsey and Mahomes are on that field, they will be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but they're going to do the same thing.
AFC Championship game.
At least AFC Championship.
They go every year.
Yeah.
Every year Mahomes there. They go.
It's
crazy, though, where it's you can't argue with someone saying that.
Also wild, too, which I should have brought this up when I said I watched it the first time. Such a crazy, unbelievable move when it's Hurts and Mahomes are sitting at the podium before they're going to get interviewed. And they're talking about the houses they rented, and Mahomes oh yeah, I rented it 3 months ago. I knew I was going to be here.
Yeah, that's so overblown. You could cancel an Airbnb 3 days before.
I don't care. That's still.
He was also saying
still those small moves, man.
He was they jacked that price up the week of. He can't be doing that.
Yeah, it's going to be
true.
That's
the old rumor.
It's not his first rodeo.
The Patriots would send out their season tickets. I could be wrong. I don't think the Patriots put wild card in the ticket stubs. I don't know if they were legally allowed to do that, but I'm pretty sure they just sent divisional game, AFC Championship, and then obviously not the Super Bowl because that is what it is. But they sent that a part of the package. I don't think they sent the wild card. It was one of those things like act as if, or like we know we're not going to be in a fucking wild card game and we're going to the AFC Championship. Like Brady was going to the AFC Championship game every year.
I mean, he was looking at his chops, looking at the fucking the Jets and Bills and fucking
yeah, of course,
Dolphins over those years.
You know, that's the thing. If Mahomes can keep doing this,
he was like I got 6 wins. You want to talk about picking wins in a win total? He was like 6-0 every year.
Yeah, and I still say it all the time.
Like
I think if Mahomes can block out some of these quarterbacks that we think are all-timers, it's even more impressive for his legacy. Burrow comes away with none. Allen comes away with never even getting to one. Herbert comes away with none. Lawrence comes away with none. It's like, man, part of it is keeping guys away from you as well.
So hard, dude. Those guys are all so young, though.
Without a doubt. I'm counting his
under like 27.
I totally understand. But you don't think that adds a little bit of icing on the cake?
I'm
Trevor Lawrence plus
I mean, if he went full Jordan,
none of them have it yet. Not one of them has it yet.
But I'm saying, in that theory, you're saying he gets like 9 Super Bowls.
No. It's just they get none. He gets 4 or 5, or he loses Super Bowl.
He goes to like 12
fair enough.
Yeah, like a LeBron rule.
I don't think you have to go every year, but yeah.
Lock them out. He'd have to go constantly.
Pretty much. Yeah, or you get a random, you get a whatever, like a guy like Rodgers or whatever it is. But
ending health, I'd be shocked if Burrow didn't.
Pick Central win total Wednesday back next Wednesday. See you tomorrow. Yak up next.